Okay, welcome back. We had an area-wide power outage. It extended for about a 5-mile radius, and we're back now. We apologize for the interruption. Believe it's 3-all here. A couple of long, grinding games. You're seeing both teams staying back. A lot of the play, Martin, what you talked about earlier. Here we have 3 of the 4 people back.
Yeah, it's very different paddle if you haven't seen this.
There's a great overhead from Hume, the type of paddle we talked
40,
about, where you want to
30.
hit that hard overhead at him. So 40-30.
Oop, confusion.
I think you're starting to see Hume figure it out a little bit more, starting to hit more hard overheads, either at the player or at the nick, with a willingness to bail.
Yeah, he seems like he could hit that ball right at the nick. That's what he was trying to do.
Again, looking
Yep.
for the nick.
Yep.
So, Martin, talk a little bit about that strategy and how you employ it when you decide how to react based on your overhead.
Are you talking about hitting to the nick?
Yeah.
Well, basically, I mean, there's two schools of thought, right? One is you don't want to lose the point, so you could hit soft, easy overheads to safe spots, but that's also not going to win the point. So it depends what you want to do. So if you're going to try to win the point, you kind of reverse your strategy and either roll the
Game,
ball
Crick,
hard,
Lofgren. They lead the
hit
second
it
set,
flat and
4
hard,
games to 3.
but just go for it to hit that
Croker,
nick.
Hume won the first set,
And if it
6 games to 4.
comes out badly, meaning the other person's going to get a high drive, you just bail. So you let them drive it and give up the net, which you really haven't lost anything.
Few scores to report. Araya Parsons through 6-6, 3-6-2. Hughes Powers through 6-1, 6-2. LePavere Bredberg through 6-3, 6-love. And Grangero Wilkinson through 6-1, 6-2. What would you be doing out there, Martin? I mean, they're interesting conditions. You're seeing 3, sometimes 4 players in the backcourt. How would you adjust?
I would try hitting the ball at the nick, but I think I'd pick my spots. I would like to try to get the other team. I would try to hit safe shots if I could, but it's so warm out that you hit enough overheads, you're going to make a mistake. So if you get that chance to really roll the ball at the nick, I think that's what I'd be doing. But making sure if the ball stayed up for them to drive, you're leaving the net.
Yeah, I think that's a smart adjustment. I think we've seen Lofgren make that adjustment, staying back, less so with the overheads.
Yeah, it's just a very different paddle than what the average paddle player is used to. It actually looks
15,
very different. You know, one up, one back.
Colmer Morgan are through 6-1, 6-2 over Gonzalez Montalbano. Ordoyo Morneau won the first set in a tiebreak over Estes Stulak. Yeah, in a lot of ways today to me is just the epitome of platform tennis, which is risk reward in your decision making, which obviously always factors into every shot you hit.
I think it's a lot to do with personalities of the team and the players and how they like to play.
So elaborate on that a little bit more.
Well, some players are willing to stay out there till the next day if that's what it takes, and they're going to hit careful shots, not give anything away, and just try to outlast the other team. And maybe they don't have the same amount of firepower, where other players need a more exciting, quicker style, and they like to go for it and feel like they can come out the better team if that's the case. And sometimes there's just one team is stronger than the other, and there's not much to be done about it. And
15,
that better
all.
team very often will try to play fast, especially in a tournament like this where you're playing more than one match. You don't want to be out there all day.
See Hume seeing too much action at the net. Oh, that's a great overhead.
It's
But he-
also a ball
30,
he could have
15.
rolled right to the nick as well, though, because Crick hasn't showed much off his backhand. He has a nice slice, but I haven't seen him hit a good two-hand draw out on that side. So that's a corner they could attack with that going for the nick.
Yeah, I think Hume is jumping around at the net a little too much, taking volleys from Croker, which he doesn't need to do. And again, that's that risk-reward ratio when you're at the net volleying the ball. There's a good overhead from Croker looking for the nick. And they're exactly what we talked about. He finds the nick in that that
40,
overhead,
15.
the roller. Lofgren risks the backhand long, 40-15. Yeah, I really love, you talked about it earlier, Martin. It's really the chess game between the teams, making adjustments, figuring out the conditions, finding what's successful. Another missed lob
Yeah,
from
too
Crick.
many, too many
Croker
missed
Hume.
lobs.
Second set is tied. 4 games all.
Yeah, on a day like today, you just can't afford to do that. Although, honestly, I don't know there's any day you can afford to do
I
that.
don't think you can ever do it. The screens are so tight and it's so warm, and even if you do throw up a weaker lob, you're probably not going to pay for it.
And there you
No-
see
no-
Lofgren, no interest in coming to net at all.
I think he lives to hit his backhand. It's fun to watch hit that. He reminds me a little bit of Mike Stulak.
Wow. High praise.
Well, Mike has that effective forehand, but his backhand is the thing that's dangerous.
Mike told a great story last night about preparing for nationals one year, hitting forehands with his dad, and then missing 1, 2, 3, and his dad being incredibly encouraging. You know, it's coming, Michael. It's coming, Michael. And Mike looked up and said, "Dad, it's been 31 years that it's been coming." That's a good
It
swing
was
from
Mike
Lofgren.
Stulak we were talking about, who was
Love,
inducted into the
15.
Hall of Fame last night.
Good swing from Lofgren, and misses it there. Really dangerous moment of the match for Crick Lofgren. Wow, 2 sloppy misses from Lofgren.
Love. 30.
I remember Mike asked me one year to go out on the court with him in the evening after West Penn, work on his forehand with him. And I think I smart-assly said, "Mike, I'm a good pro, but I'm not that good."
That does sound like a Martin Sturgis line.
I didn't mean it. We went out and hit some balls.
Lofgren's really breaking down right now.
Love. 40.
Yeah, he got greedy on that forehand. He hasn't been doing that. When he did have to hit that, he was just putting it to a good spot and not trying to win the point.
Wow.
He's gotten impatient.
Yeah, just a mental blurt. He'd really adopted to the conditions well.
That was a terrible time for that.
4 consecutive errors, and Croker Hume will serve for the match. Viking Athletics is the premier brand and the undisputed leader in platform tennis. Viking is platform tennis. The Viking Extra Duty platform ball has been the #1 selling ball in the industry for the last 20 years. It's the official ball of the APTA, of the APTA Nationals and President's Cup, and of course of the APTA Grand Prix Tour. Okay, let's see if Lofgren can recover from that train wreck of a game.
Yeah, that was a tough one. He's played such a good match.
Yeah, I think he's been the smartest player on the court, maybe the best player on the court.
He may have gotten a little frustrated there. Well, he obviously got frustrated, but it made him give a couple points away. Hopefully his partner's trying to talk to him and bring him back into his good zone.
There's a good
Nice
forehand
drive.
from Crick.
Get back organized.
There's great overhead from Lofgren there. Catches
Love,
Croker moving
15.
forward.
Nice little roller into the side, keeping it low. It's a safe shot.
Yeah, there's no benefit there that I've seen yet from how they're playing. Just Mitchell finding those spots.
Love, 30.
Fault from Croker. Love 30. Nothing harder than closing out a match.
Playing they easily just go to the net.
Except losing it.
No, that's easy. I know a lot about that, Martin. Oh, that was an
15,
easy
30.
ball for Lofgren, and he missed it.
That was a huge point, too.
He is really struggling right now. Would you start hitting more balls in his direction, given the way he's played the last 10 minutes?
I'd be hitting it to his forehand. I mean, most of those misses have been forehands off the deck.
Stay in the matches. Exactly where we were on the first one. Again, playing uphill the whole way, playing some good ball, but just a few misses here and there, and a few of Johan Durant's just great athleticism.
Yeah, Hume's got to
Great
be a little.
control on that backhand.
Hume's got to be a little quieter at the net, jumping around too much. And there's another questionable decision from Nathan Crick.
30,
Takes him 2
all.
points from the match. They just
Well,
look
Crockett
jumpy.
stays pretty far off the net. I think that's what Hume's. That's why Hume's cuts in front of him sometimes. Big point here.
Wow. Match point. The wheels have kind of
40,
come off
30.
Martin.
Yeah.
Played such a solid match.
Yeah, it's a shame if it ends like this. He's still hitting that backhand well.
Good bail from Croker Hume there. Croker Hume switching back to their customary sides. Oh,
Deuce.
That ball, like hit it. He hit sort of a push.
good overhead from Crick. Croker almost had the answer there, but just missed it. Back to deuce.
Basically. It was, Durant did it to him the point before. The game before. All right, so another break point here, though. 30-40. Oh! He had it. He saw it. Couldn't execute the drop.
Seeing more of that hard roller.
Fighting their way back.
Oh, he misses the overhead
Wow.
long.
Well, he let the ball drop very low, and he was way off the net, so it makes that shot a lot more difficult to put somewhere good.
And a fault, so they go from match point to 5-all.
Wow.
Game, Crick, Lofgren.
Boy, a
Second
really
set is
sloppy
tied.
game
Tied,
from
5
Croker
all.
Hume. A couple of faults.
Another out lob.
Yeah.
Yeah, they won't be happy if they end up losing this set.
Oh, bad luck there.
It's one thing to not win a set or a match point if the other team really wins the point, but to give it away is pretty painful.
A missed lob on match point. Yeah, it's about staying with the process on the plan. When you play good points in an intelligent manner, good things tend to happen to you.
That's a shot he has to take. He might have let it drop a little too low, though.
Love, 15.
Yeah, that ball was tough to drive. It did get too low on him.
So they've got them out of their corners.
You got to be careful. They've made a couple of mistakes earlier on the side wires here, and that's what's got to be avoided when they're
I was going to
switched.
say, I thought they were looking to switch back. Sometimes teams, when they get switched like that, will just stay that way if they're comfortable, give the other team a different look.
A couple of great volleys from Hume. He's starting to hit more and more overheads at the Knicks.
He must have heard you talking, Mark.
There's some confusion at the net. Croker reaches for a
Well,
ball and changes his mind.
It was a good slide by Lofgren.
15 all.
That would have been a good time to blitz.
They probably wouldn't even know what to do with the lead if they got a lead.
They'd probably be super happy to get one here, but it's going quickly.
Yeah, but she realized it a lot. I think she was just saying, hey.
And for our viewers who are just tuning in again, let me repeat, there was a power outage in the entire Fox Chapel area. All the surrounding areas lost electricity as well, so we apologize. But beyond our control.
You give him the stamp and the lob.
Yeah, he's definitely trying to hit that Nick.
Love. Low ball with Durant right on.
See,
Great
that's a
backhand.
volley you can't try and make. That's such a, it's a
Well-
ball hit from a high angle down at his feet
I think you either have to go right belly up to the net
or bail.
and have your paddle where you're guessing, and if it's not right on your paddle, you get out of the way. But he tends to stay off the net. He must be more comfortable there. I'm surprised they haven't blitzed a little on him.
That was a good play there from Hume. Just getting out of the way and starting over from the backcourt.
Nolan could get out of this and extend it to a third set. All right, so 6 match points here.
His points are all big at this point. It's a great lob.
Oh, swing and a miss. We call that a Miguel Cobbs at my club, Martin. When you chase it down after you swing and miss at it. Miguel is exceptional at that.
At both?
Yes, swinging and missing and then chasing it down.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe just the swinging and missing.
He's exceptional at that too. And there he catches the nick. Great read from Lofgren. See, that's an overhead I'd rather see Croker take hard at Crick's nick.
Yeah, they haven't gone hard. Oh, we haven't seen that.
Nowhere to hide anywhere at this point.
Makes the lob.
Yeah, we got a bunch of the results there too. We could even scroll down a little. And so use power.
I thought they would attack Crick's corner more.
Incredible round of 16 match. You see the other ones here. We already have Grangero and
You can
Wilkins.
see how smoothly they both got back to the sides they want to be on at the net.
Looks like Durant Mitchell are through to the round of 16. Well, they'll face the defending national champions, Hughes and Powers. Wow, another missed lob wide.
40-15.
He's trying to get it down the line, but you just can't risk missing it.
When you're aiming those lobs, Martin, if you're trying to get it down the line, where would you be aiming?
I would want the ball to land inside the what we normally call the single sidelines, and probably about 4 feet, maybe 5 feet behind the side, the service line.
So just plenty of margin of error.
At the most. Well, you just tell people if your lobs are out by 2 inches, you missed it by about 6 feet.
Right.
And there's going to be some ridiculous matches there. We got Hodge against Starnberg against Geviet and Delmonico. That's an incredible matchup.
You can lob very, very well and create problems without hitting them long.
Is going to be Darren Tanika against Andrejka Lenz.
It's like a lot of things in paddle. There's a fine line between getting it just right and screwing it up.
I mean, that was just a great lineup of matches there.
That's why you want to make your opponents hit a lot of shots.
There, Hoppenspiz had a good
Great
That's
cut
the second
from Croker.
one.
40-30.
6-11 the third.
He hadn't been showing that. He might be getting a little confidence in that.
There was semifinals here and they got hurt.
That could be a big weapon going forward if the match goes
Nicolescu just back after the
for another set.
getting and rounding into her
Anderson Bostrom through. 7-6, 6-4.
terrific women's matches coming up. And we'll see you guys soon enough. So we'll be back here after these messages. We're going to take a break. Clear.
Great lob, opened the court up. Oh, and Crick misses that one.
Deuce.
Back to deuce.
We need a tracking device on you, Brad.
You just joined us. We're at the Fox Chapel Racket Club, APTA Nationals. Sunny day, beautiful day. Warming up, and we're watching some great paddle. There'll be matches running all day.
Yeah, again, you see that confusion at the net where Croker reaches for the ball and then doesn't hit it. Hume's completely handcuffed. Add in again for Crick Lofgren.
Again, the Lofgren backhand. Even though he had a few bad points there, he never lost confidence in his backhand.
I'm assuming we're not holding anybody up. We're just
There it
Yeah,
is
that was-
again.
That was a really bad overhead from Hume. Wasn't aiming for the nick, just hit it kind of.
I think he just, I'm sure he wasn't trying to do that. I think he would agree with you, Mark. But again, because they were smart enough to bail, it didn't cost them anything.
Yep. Again, you see three players in the backcourt as Lofgren comes jogging in after Crick gets control of the net.
It's important to know when to bail, when to run away.
And you don't see Crick and Lofgren looking for the nick nearly as much. And there they get beaten in transition at the net.
Yeah.
So again, Lofgren crosses to cut off the volley, but the risk reward is just really low.
No, it left them wide open. It can be hard when one player is rangy and quick and closer to the net, and the other player is more of a stay-at-home volleyer. Even if they're good volleyers, if they're staying off the net, sometimes your partner doesn't know where you are, and then they cut in front of you. It can be effective if you get the volley through, but if you let it sit there,
Again,
a
Lofgren
problem.
jumping around at the net. I don't see any real
Yeah.
advantage.
it looks fun though. Well, that might be why he's cutting in front
Add
of
out.
him.
Okay, point to serve for the match a second time for Croker Hume. And watching these two teams play that are very good teams, both top 20 in the country, you see that they're just very few guys that can end the point at the net. It's Drew Broderick, it's Mark Powers, it's Juan Araya, Johan Durant, but it's a very small handful. And when you can't end the point at the net ceases to have a lot of value.
Yeah, those guys make it look easy, but it really isn't. Crocker's done it a couple of times, but he's only shown it twice, I think.
Yep.
Also, you have to get the ball coming to you just the way you like it to give you confidence to pull that shot off.
Good decision by Hume, staying back.
Nick,
Yep.
great get. Try it again. Nice hold. Tried to make it look like a drop and then push it deep.
Missed the lob long.
Yeah.
It's a couple of big points where Croker's missed lobs. Here we are exchanging ground strokes again.
Yeah, if I was going to pick on one thing where the expensive misses, it's been too many lobs out. It's one thing if you miss a volley or you miss a drive or even if you fault, but to miss a lob just shouldn't happen at this level.
And you can see Hume has kind of figured the overheads out. He's hitting the hard overheads at people, looking for the nick and willing to bail, just like that.
There was a great reaction from Lofgren.
You talked earlier, Martin, about the fine line on so many things in platform tennis. When you're driving the ball from the backcourt on a day like today, you want to drive it hard enough to create some action, but you don't want to hit it too hard because they just play it off the back wires.
Yeah, I'm sure they all know that. It's just, you know, it's hard to get it just right. There's an impatient shot.
Yep.
Add in.
Came out in front of his partner's forehand and chipped it into the net.
Okay, a point for 6-5. And they get beat in
Very
transition.
Game. Crick, Lofgren.
Croker got a little lazy there, like he's kind of wandering in. Lofgren's been all over the net, and he caught them there. And they'll serve to get into a tiebreak. It was just a few minutes ago they had match point.
Anyone who's played paddle knows that it is a cruel mistress sometimes. You hit 150 good shots and then one bad one and you lose the point at this level.
Yeah, I had a good friend that took a lesson from Brad Easterbrook, and Brad was working with him, and he said sometimes you need to make 30, 40 good decisions just to win 1 point. Of course, that buddy's not playing platform tennis anymore.
That was his decision.
Yeah, that was his decision. Joe Palestino. Brad drove him right out of the game. It's a fascinating match tactically, isn't it, Martin?
Yeah, it really is. It's especially now with the livelier ball than in the old days. I mean, it used to be if the other team just could drive the ball, you couldn't get to the net in time, you would lose. But that's not an excuse anymore.
Can you imagine if you hadn't seen a paddle match for 20 years and you came back and watched this, you wouldn't even recognize the sport.
No. I'd be fascinated to see what, you know, some of the legends of the old days, like Rich Mayer and Kleinertz and all those guys, what they would be doing with this equipment.
Yeah. Well, it's the age-old question in all sports. You know, who's
Yeah.
the best of all time?
Yeah.
Good speed of Manzinger with this type of equipment. Just hard to judge. There's a great overhead from Hume.
Makes you wonder what it's going to look like 5 years from now. I don't see too much else where it could go, style-wise, but
The pace of the game has changed so much in the last 5, 10 years. It seems like it's almost changing annually.
yeah, but you're in a cage, right? So eventually, pure power, and it doesn't matter. The ball's gettable.
Crick let that ball get behind him. Dangerous.
This really is a great match. It's
Another missed
fascinating.
lob from Croker.
15 all.
Definitely too many of those. I think it was a tweener overhead, though. I think he wasn't sure if he wanted to let it go to the screen or not.
Again, 3 of the 4 players in the backcourt exchanging ground strokes. Here comes Lofgren. Wow.
Wow.
That was not a tweener overhead.
No, it
15,
really wasn't.
30.
Well, you really
There's
feel the
definitely
air.
ebbs and flows to this match.
That's a heck of a volley.
Oh, no.
30 all.
That was too much to go for on that. That was a big point.
Hey, sorry about that. Can you go? You may have to
if they could have won that point, they would have had set point. I think you want to make your opponent earn that point to get to 30-all. It's hard when you can smell it, like you said before, to close it out, but even closing out a set.
Those are
Uh,
short
yeah.
overheads. Those are the ones I'd like to see
there
him
you go
taking.
again with the swing and the. Oh, that's two bad decisions.
A
40,
couple of
30.
blurts from Crick.
Yeah.
But Hume has gotten away
Lofgren's
from the
going
hard
over
overhead
and
there.
keeping his head in it, though, but his body language, he's upset with himself for sure. If I was Crick at this point, I would try to leave the point on Lofgren's paddle. And just try to make sure I'm hitting safe shots and not missing.
That's smart play by both teams, letting the lobs bounce. Those deep ones, just no reason to risk it.
It's a good lob, goes down the line.
Hume's gotten away from going for the nick for some reason.
I think they got burned on it a couple times because they didn't bail. It's a good lob.
I'd be baiting Crick to hit some of those forehands.
He's pretty patient, though. You can see he lobbed a nice ball down the line, trying to set up Lofgren's. Oh, he just mishit it.
Yeah, it wasn't under that ball. Back to deuce.
You hit that on the top of the paddle?
Yeah. I know that overhead well. I've actually mastered it.
When you do it, it goes over the net and comes back, and then you walk away, right, like you meant to do it.
Of course.
Yeah, there's the lob trying to set up Lofgren, and it's what worked for them last time. It's smart to lob down the line. Oh.
He just doesn't have a lot of belief in that forehand.
No, that's why I really think at this point in the match he should just stick with that lob, and because Hume is taking the ball over into the other corner, and Lofgren is definitely capable of winning the point.
Yeah, getting plenty of chances. Just got to wait for the right one.
And these points are costly right now. So one reason Lofgren wants to lob down the line, if Hume is hitting that nick, he can get away from that by lobbing down the line.
Good forehand there from Crick. Forces the error from the Croker volley.
Yeah, he hits that inside out one. Oh, and then he pulls one.
Set point.
Add out.
That was a nice swing. He looked much more decisive on that. Now let's see. This is where I would make the other team win this point. Be patient. Oh, good shot.
Hard overhead, finds the nick, they win the point.
Yeah, the roller.
Would stay back here if I was Hume. Same result ultimately.
Yeah, you wonder why he goes forward to begin with.
Just put yourself in a tougher position to play that next
I
ball.
mean, he certainly came back nicely, but
Great overhead there from Lofgren. Takes him to set point number 2. Oh,
what a serve.
wow, out of nowhere. We haven't seen that serve from Hume in the whole
No.
match.
Pulled that out on set point.
Impressive confidence.
Boy, that wasn't that was, if you couldn't see it on the screen, that ball bit the side wire and basically went straight down off the back. it's a little hard to appreciate it unless you see it live.
Okay, and there's an issue with the warm weather.
Yep.
Lets the lob drop, bounces over the fence. Loss of point for the striker. Game point for Croker Hume to force a tiebreak.
Was that lob out as well? or
No, I
was
think
it
the
in
lob was
court?
good.
No, I thought it might have been
Bring
long.
a new ball.
It's unfortunate if it was on the line, but it's another reason not to lob too deep.
What do you think about that rule, Martin?
I think it's a good rule.
You think it should be loss of point if you lob the ball out of the court?
Yeah, I think it's incumbent to keep the ball in the court.
Well, it's hard to argue with that statement.
Add in.
Okay,
Well,
they switch
I mean,
balls.
inside the cage.
Switch
Otherwise,
balls.
you could throw up moon lobs in the. I
Couple
don't
of
think that would be
practice
much
shots.
fun.
Another point for a tiebreak. And then he misses the serve.
Deuce.
Wow, not happy with that.
Plus, the other issue, Mark, a lot of paddle courts are built on the cliffs, and who's going to go get the ball?
Yeah, jumping around at the net, and all of a sudden it's set point number 3.
It's a great set. He almost hit that same serve again. Lofgren likes that windmill overhead or tomahawk overhead. Have to be careful.
Oh, Hume misses a gimme. We've split sets, and our producer Kelly Diesel was just wrong. He insisted there was going to be a tiebreak. Okay, we'll be back in a moment after these messages with the final set right here on the APTA Network, presented by eNet Live.
Elizabeth,
Stephen,
I can't believe I caught you.
you came back. I knew you'd come back.
I have to ask you something.
Anything.
What is the Netflix password?
I love Stephen.
I love Steven. It's all lowercase, one word?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
You gotta get it to get it.
See ya.
Watch movies, TV shows, and exclusive series instantly.
Okay, welcome back to the 2019 APTA National Championships. We're about to start the third set of this round of 32 match between Croker and Hume, Crick and Lofgren. Martin, what are your thoughts? Just a fascinating pair of sets with Crick and Lofgren saving match points in the second set.
Yeah, it's been a really fun match to watch. Lots of ebbs and flows, team-wise and player-wise. Where the player would have some trouble or get a little inconsistent, and then all of a sudden pull himself back and start making great shots.
Yeah, we're over 2 hours into the match. We haven't even started the third set. Araya Parsons are inside, relaxing, licking their chops while these guys play 3+ hours. Yeah, it was interesting.
So
Randy Lofgren kind of fell apart a little bit at 4-all. And they had match point. Tommy Croker missed a lob wide, missed a few lobs in that game.
The missed lobs just killed them. But it's just a few shots here and there. But then to put that easy overhead into the net, these guys are all fit, so it's not that they're getting physically tired, but Yeah,
But-
there has
but-
been enough long points that mentally you get tired.
It may not affect him in this match, but it will affect them as the day goes on because if you're getting through to the men's semis, you got to play 3 matches today.
Yeah, I think right now their concern is this.
They have no
match.
concern about anything else. And neither of these teams are likely to make the semis at the end of the day. Okay, Randy Lofgren to serve, Tommy Croker to start the third set.
So the reward for winning this one is to play Uriah Parsons.
Yep, the number 2 seed. And that's a step up in class.
I'm sure both teams were just looking forward to the chance to play him, though.
Absolutely. Round of 16 in Nationals, one of the best 16 teams in the country.
Did you send them to me?
A rare point with Hume and Croker in the backcourt. Great overhead,
Yeah.
catches the nick. Croker's not ready
I
for it.
wonder if we'll see more of that.
15 love.
Interesting.
Great decision by Crick not to hit that ball.
Crick's not sure where he is right now. He
Took
got
a
little
swing
dis-
at that one.
He got a little discombobulated early in the point. Okay, now we're organized.
Rolling bump. Bumps on 50 seconds.
There's that hitch. It's interesting. He's like he double pumps.
Yeah.
Lofgren is really fun to watch. Not quite sure what he's going to pull out of his tricks.
30 seconds.
Great cut there from Lofgren.
Letting the ball drop, you can get a lot more backspin on it if you time it right.
And then get it on the rise.
Yep, which he did beautifully. Can be risky because if you whiff on it completely, you look a little silly, but inside well no.
Checks the score with the umpire.
Here we go.
Ooh, that ball kind of went through Crick.
4,
Yeah, he did a good job there.
2,
Again, whenever they're switched and Crick's in the ad court, they seem to be confused
40
and
love.
kind of set up that spike overhead in the backcourt. Serve is long, 40-15.
So I think Lofgren's just looking for a shorter lob that he can roll into the corner.
Welcome
He
to the
didn't get it,
2019
though.
APT Nationals, presented locally by PNC, with thanks also to the APTA's national official sponsors.
Oh, that was a risky shot.
We are live from the Fox Chapel
He pulled it off, though.
on the APTA.
You misses the forehand. That's one love. What feels like a lot of momentum on the Crick Lofgren side.
Hume had the shot, too. He read that the line was open.
Just heard the umpire introduce them. It's the 10 seeds, Martina Andrekova and Anna Maria Zavori, and they are facing the second seeds, Roxy Anika and Laura Barron. Here, Patty wanted to tell us a little bit about them.
Sure, Martina Andreeva is from Stamford, Connecticut, and she's a former women's national champion. She's here with Anna Maria.
Okay, let's see what Croker and Hume can do to stem the tide here.
Laura Barron from River Farms, Illinois, former finalist in the national
The
championship.
way this match has gone, it doesn't really matter who is ahead at the beginning. It
Yeah.
could easily turn.
He is an outstanding player. This is going to be fireworks on the paddle court.
Yep, watch out. Don't let your guard down because those balls.
This is where it pays to have a short memory.
See, I don't understand why Lofgren's not blitzing more. Crocker's hitting those half volleys. He has to hit the ball up, and Lofgren could be all over that.
Great pickup there from Lofgren.
Andrekova and Anna Maria Zavori have been playing together for a couple seasons, and they didn't play so as much this year. Zavori was away, but they've come on strong and they're really playing well so far at nationals.
It's going to be a treat. Anika and Zabori in particular are just sort of like
was.
the women's tour.
Yeah, that's the volley you can't
15
afford to
love.
try. He's a step inside the service line. He's hitting down on the ball. Let it through. If you make the volley, it's not like you're winning the point.
And, you know, they bring the heat.
Yeah, I'm not sure that ball was bouncing so shallow in the court. I'm not sure it would have come off the screen.
They just, you know, they're going to go for
I think the problem was definitely on the overhead was spiked too much and just gave him that
15
high
all.
overhead off the baseline.
Too many misses from Hume. Just can't miss overheads at this level.
Oh, the 16s yesterday were just the most amazing, challenging 16 matches.
Great.
I've ever
He
seen.
really volleys well off his shoe tops, but
These women
it's
are
better if
so
you don't have to.
talented, and, you know, we have a Delmonico Gebbia against Floor, and Annika. That's going to be number 1 against number 8. I think that will be another live stream match coming up for all of you at home. But I mean, this match, it's going to be a fascinating thing.
Wow, 2 missed overheads from Hume in this game. Looks up at the sun
15,
after
30.
missing that one.
On the far side in the red top.
And set point.
For women's
Yep.
national champ with Gabby.
I wonder what he's intending to do with those that he's missing them.
Didn't look like there was much intent on that last one.
Well, that's why I was wondering,
Person who's won a national title.
because he can certainly hit strong overheads. Looked like he was taking something off it.
Be fascinating to see as Perrin and Anika have played a lot
Good
of
eye.
paddle this year. A lot of tournaments.
Lob
but
missed wide.
not so much.
15, 40.
Three events.
I almost wish we would have counted how many lobs were out.
Too many would be the answer.
Yeah,
And a lot more from Croker Hume than Crick Lofgren.
you could watch some of the top teams and you don't ever see a lob out.
Game, Crick, Lofgren, they lead the third set. 2
Shaky
games to
game
love.
there from Croker Hume. Missed overhead lob, fault. Crick Lofgren have just done a better job of adjusting to the conditions. Oh,
Wow,
what a
great,
volley from
great,
Lofgren.
Great pickup.
I would have thought it was an unnecessary risk, but he pulled it off.
As you can see from baseline shot.
It's a nice shot.
Here in the ad court, a flash of red.
There's a great forehand from Crick.
Drive more than any other top team.
And another missed lob. It's getting to be the
15 love.
story of the match, Martin.
How aggressive.
And if that one was any indication, it looked good for Saboria and Andrakova because they withstood a lot there.
I think that I saw them play a little bit yesterday. I noticed they're playing a little closer to each other. Sabori kind of committed a little bit more to the backhand volley. So they're going to be able to defend most
A lot of misses from the Croker Hume team.
Yeah, they're definitely
30,
pressing.
love.
That's the right ball to swing at, just failed to execute.
It's hard when you come so close to closing out the match and you don't.
Well, that's what I was talking about, where it really
You're
pays to
not
have
happy to be in this third set, and
you got to have a short memory. Good lob there
Yeah.
from Croker.
great lob.
30, 15.
Of course, the definition of a good lob is one that lands in the court.
Yeah, I think Lofgren really has to cover that ball. It was too straight. It wasn't angled to his partner at all. But he may be.
Sabori and Vika are sort of the personality on both teams. Maybe the
Some of these
better
points, he's doing kind of what Durant does and just cover the entire net.
just knows how to fire forehands and backhands.
That can get you in trouble.
And Martina is really a quiet leader on the far side in the deuce court. She's totally calm and composed.
Little change of
disciplined
pace
at all
there.
times. It would be fun to see a little cat and mouse. I would expect some between Anita.
Yeah, so that's the type of shot maybe you pull off when you're
40,
ahead, when
15.
you're rolling.
Yeah. The other
30
thing is
15
when
down
you-
to love.
When you drive the ball off the screen, you really have to make sure you clear the net. I mean, I know that sounds silly, but you're hitting it from a little higher
Game,
up.
Crick, Lofgren, they lead the third set. 3
And there
games
you
to
Chances
see-
love.
are, if it goes over the net, it is going to go in as long as you hit it well. But to put it in the net, off the screen is costly.
And there you see Croker missing another forehand return. It's 3-love quickly.
Yeah, Nika and Barron played.
Yeah, this is a huge game now.
Had a sixth at Short Hills, second at Boston, third at Midwesterns, second Long Island. They won the
Croker and
championship,
Hume can
they're 30th.
win this game, then
They do have a lot
then we might have a closer set here, but otherwise I think this might be a roll.
of experience from.
Although we've seen you're never dead in platform tennis.
No, you're not.
I've seen teams come back after shaking hands.
Did you make that up, Mark?
I did.
That's a good one. I like that.
Great read on the nick there from Lofgren.
I like the speed of those drives.
Well, again, you just feel that Crick and Lofgren have a
Love,
better
15.
understanding of the conditions and what they need to do to be successful.
And that's a drive that was basically right to his partner's paddle, but his partner's so far off the net that Hume cuts in front of him.
15 all.
Well, Lofgren would like that one back.
Cindy Prendergast and Lauren Singh. And I think I knew that even if you didn't have it right in front of me.
What was the score, Barb?
That would have been a great shot if it was soccer paddle.
30.
Still pretty impressive.
Yeah, skilled athlete, unquestionably.
Doesn't phase these four players.
I think Crick is picking up with his forehand here too.
Nerves, the early going, and these guys, you can feel like they just walked on the court with that intensity level. All of them believe they're going to win this match.
There's that drive off the screen.
Yeah, that was smooth looking as
Yeah, it
Crick
was-
misses the lob long.
30 all.
Volley over there from Martino Drake. Players who can handle the heat from Anika really get down, keep their paddle head up, and they really bend their knees versus being straight legged.
Crick appears to have a lot more confidence in his forehand as this match is going on.
Yeah, very slow start, but really has gotten much more comfortable.
He held it and tried
40,
to fool him, and he
30.
fooled himself. Tried to make it look like it was going cross court and then went inside out.
Chance to get the board.
All their losses on both sides, they've only lost to the top teams. These players routinely go through the field. They are so much better than most of the players in the field.
There's that good Crick forehand you were talking about, Martin.
Yeah, he's playing much looser.
That it's kind of
I don't mean sloppy. He just doesn't look.
purely becomes about a matchup.
Great blitz there from Hume.
Just looks
Lo-
quicker.
Lofgren has the answer.
Tentative swing from Anika. She's on with her serve. It's got much more speed, which results in a lot of kick serve.
There it is, the
Yeah,
first one he's missed in a
yeah,
while.
Well,
Game. Croker
pressed
Hume.
on that one.
And they're
Crick
on the
Lofgren lead
board.
the third
Ball was
set,
too
3
low
games
to drive.
1.
Love that play. So they're just blocking the forehand of Martino.
Yeah, so that's the play that I
15
like
love.
so much from Lofgren, where he makes his opponents hit the first volley.
I agree.
And Croker Hume have to be smarter about when they're following the ball in the net. Like there, that was a much better decision.
Ball striker. She's so pure.
Crick catches the nick, 30
30
love.
Love.
Attack that ball in the sweet spot.
And both Sabori and Anika have a lot of different spins, a lot of different shots, a lot to choose from, which is why their games can be unbelievable.
Great volley there from Hume. Hume and some positive energy.
Whereas
30-15.
are more straight ahead, you know, not too many different spins, not too many, but there's sophomore
It's a great shot.
Yeah.
30.
It's a ball
ball.
that could hit a nick. It could be very difficult off the screen, and it's a little difficult to drive because of the roll.
Should have been a ball he blocked.
If you lob higher, it's much harder for the players at the net to pull that shot off.
And the high lob has kind of left the men's game, Martin. Everybody's lobbing low these days.
I think it's 'cause they're all so good on the screen, so they're not going to miss any screens unless something strange happens, or it's very, very difficult. So,
But why do you
It just-
think they stopped lobbing high?
I
Good
think-
Speed and Manziger were the masters of that high lob.
I think part of it is that they just don't care. They're just keeping the ball in play like filler shots, and I think when they get an opportunity, you know, the good teams will take that ball up like there. Of course, he missed it. Maybe that's why. So the trick
40,
to keeping those
30.
high lobs in, or to try, make sure they're peaking on your side of the net. If you're trying to lob over your opponent, as in tennis, anytime you put a little too much on it, you're going to hit it long. It's a
Great.
very different mindset. So you can lob very high, but not risk it going long, as long as you're peaking it on your side. You want a pointy parabola. You know what that means, Mark?
I do, Martin.
Okay.
Hume,
I was teach-
Croker misses
I
the
had a women-
backhand wide.
Game.
Had a
Crick
women's
Lofgren. They
team
lead the
lesson
third
one
set.
time.
4
and
games to
I
1.
was telling them get their lobs up, and this was a doctor or something. She said, "Oh, you want a pointy parabola?" I said, "I'm going to use that forever." Of course, you lob like that in tennis, you basically lose the point because they put the overhead away.
So what do you think, Martin? They coming back, or are they in Croker Hume in trouble?
I think Croker and Hume are in trouble.
Yeah,
I
a
think
couple of
Crick
sloppy
Crick and
games.
Lofgren just hold the course.
Beautiful setting here. Fox Chapel Racket Club, where you were the pro for
Yep. This is
47 years? 57 years.
Yeah. I think it was 55. Don't
Yeah.
exaggerate.
I don't want to exaggerate.
There's that ball that you don't
I
want
was
to
here for
stand
18 years. It was a wonderful club. Lots of great members. Very pretty place.
Great spike from Lofgren there.
It's the
Just don't know why you'd hit,
third time we've had nationals here.
and you ran the first two.
I did.
Just think Croker Hume have to be careful with those down-up overheads. There's just no reason to hit them on a day like today.
Did you ever hit a ball that hard, Lauren?
I think so.
So I wonder why he just didn't do that same shot again.
Yeah,
He hit that beautiful roller. Okay, he missed the nick, but it's a perfect ball to do it again. At this level, changing up your spins a little bit, it's not going to fool anybody.
no, and the overhead he hit was not a very good one.
No, he went back to kind of a conventional side cut overhead. But he rolls the ball beautifully. I think he should be rolling it into the deuce as well.
And there Croker starts to bail, changes his mind, misses the volley wide.
He really plays off the net. It's more comfy, I guess. I'm really surprised I haven't caught him off the net and blitzed, hitting it low to his feet.
You and I were basking in the sun, and I kind of sat there to see what it was like to try to find the ball looking into that sun. And it's tough out of that.
It was a good lob.
Oof.
Are you surprised they haven't rolled the
15
ball?
all.
With Croker playing off the net?
Well, into Crick's corner.
Yeah,
Because Crick has that nice slice backhand, but we haven't seen anything scary. Like Lofgren puts everything into his drives.
yeah. I'm surprised they have a name for the nick there more.
They tried one there, but
What a beautiful shot from where he's set up with that 2-hand.
it doesn't look like they're trying to get the ball
Like-
into that corner.
Like that overhead from Croker easily could have
There's
been hard
there's
to the
one.
corner.
There's one, and then he goes back there. Why wouldn't he stay the course, go back?
Catches the nick. Great get.
Nice touch, great get.
Oh.
Little confusion.
30, 15.
A softball down
That's
the
a
middle
shame.
that either of them could have put in play wins the point.
Yeah. Well, Lofgren thought Crick was going to hit it, and a lack of communication. It's
There's
nice.
an aggressive looking forehand from Crick.
That she tries to hit even harder in the court, given that it's
Yeah, I just don't really.
You see how far back Croker is, so, and Glick could definitely roll it into his feet.
not force it.
Yeah, I haven't noticed
I would
any
be sneaky.
discernible strategy
Take the creative,
from Croker Hume.
creative elements to the game, but playing the score.
Hume had a patch where he was aiming for the nick, but he seems to have gotten away from that a little bit.
And again,
Yeah, I like his rollers into the corners, and I wish they would go to the other corner when they can. Of
Point
course,
for
very
4-2.
often, you know, you have the righty over there, and you're not rolling it into that corner because their forehand's there, but
it's that much spin
you
and
don't have that here.
forced to play the screen.
Like
There
that.
he did it.
Martina would just
And then changes direction again.
ball her forehand off of the deck.
That's just a careless overhead.
40, 30.
Nothing there. It's interesting that
ball
Hume
was high,
changes his
too. He-
overhead so many times.
Yeah.
Let cord winner.
I think he would have been well served to roll it whenever he can. Sometimes when you're mixing it up too much, you end up fooling yourself and making a mistake.
Sarah and Nico are looking good.
They're looking good and
And there's nothing wrong with a flat overhead once in a while either.
come out of the gates here.
Again, that was another bad overhead into Lofgren.
One forced errors. Maybe one from Anika
Nice
so far
volley.
after 5 games.
It's a great roller.
Sometimes it takes Nico a
That's-
little while to work herself into a match.
It's a good lob to get off the hook there. Like,
Just looked
Add out.
confused at the net.
yeah.
Point for 5-1.
Well, Crick got himself out of trouble there with a great lob down the line, and so they couldn't come back at him.
It's almost a baby match point here.
And I kind of am getting the feel that this match also is going to be on Martina's paddle, and she's going to have to up her
Really
game.
been impressed by
There
Randy
it comes.
Lofgren's IQ.
Yeah, he's seen that too many times.
Game, Crick, Lofgren.
I mean, I think the difference in the match has been the Lofgren paddle IQ.
Yeah, I agree.
And that's 5-1. And it's a deep, dark place that Croker and Hume are in right now.
It's mostly mistakes, mental mistakes, overheads, lobs.
Sarah and Nico playing in the I formation.
Fun to watch Sabori play, her movement. The amazing thing about most players, when they have to
There
move
it is again. He gave him the same shot.
Same shot, consecutive
Yeah.
points.
their technique.
See, to me, that's lack of awareness of what's going on out there.
And on Lofgren, it's showing a lot of awareness.
Yep.
Hit the shot, right? And she didn't overdo it. That made it so tough for Sabori.
He's a smart player.
Low middle street.
See the eye again, they don't want. Contract to have that.
Another lob out.
Yeah, we're starting to sound like a broken record.
And yet they had a match point, didn't they?
Yep.
Sabori was on top of the net. There's no reason for Nico to try
They
that
certainly
shot.
did play a lot of good paddle,
Inside out, all the way
but
across
a
court.
few too many mistakes today.
Highest part of the net.
2 points from the match.
Literally hanging over the net.
You're right. But she was totally committed to her grip way over, and she then.
It's an interesting hesitation again. You see it.
Yeah.
He didn't do it there. I wonder if he does it deliberately.
Seems hard to imagine.
I don't know. He's so interesting. He's got all kinds of different looks.
Croker catches the lead cord.
Well done by Baron.
Crick's played a really good third set.
Yes, he has. After a shaky start, he really pulled himself together. But Lofgren's been the engine that made the team go.
He's been playing well the whole match. Yeah. There's your point, Mark. He could have gone for the nick, both of those overheads. This level, the side back overhead is just too vanilla and too easy.
Yeah.
It's one thing if you don't have the shot at the nick, but that was a good overhead. He fooled.
And there's another really smart play from Lofgren. No rush to come back to the net.
Yeah, as again he did that. He didn't feel like he could hit a good overhead into the ad. Didn't feel good about it, so he pulled it back to the backhand of Croker. It looked like a drivable ball.
They've kind of gone into a shell.
I don't think Glick and Lofgren are going to give away this point either. Good move. Oops, oh, he held it in. Boy, he's got great control on that backhand. Oh,
Yeah,
Nick.
he catches the nick with Hume out of position, and that takes us
40,
to double
double
match point.
Sloppy. Again,
40,
taking the ball
30.
off the screen, putting it in the net.
With the other team staying back.
Yeah, it just, you could hit it 5 miles an hour and just roll it over.
Match point number 2.
Just so instinctive to try to aim low to the net. Got to remind yourself to bring it up a bit, especially off the screen.
Couple of good hard rollers there.
That's a good attempt. Nice volley. See how low he got down on that volley? Gave his backhand. It's not where you wanted to put that ball.
Oh, I thought he was going to blitz him there.
Thought Croker might have gotten for the kill shot there with the spin. He showed it a few games ago. Great point.
Yeah.
Great match point.
And he misses the lob
That's
long.
a shame. He lobbed that at a perfect angle. He had that ball going right over the tee. Actually could have been short and lower. It probably still would have gone through.
Croker Hume can squeeze out of this game. Things may start to tighten up. Great volley from Hume, and you see some positive energy from those guys.
Add out.
It's been a really fun match watching these guys.
Oh, Hume's not happy with that miss.
Deuce.
We had a
I'm
guy,
not sure what he was trying to do on that ball.
guy in the Long Island League, top player for a long time, named John Schmidt. And I used to say getting to
remember
match
John.
point against John Schmidt was getting halfway there.
Add in.
Match point number 3, pair of
2 missed drives.
forehand returns missed.
Wow.
There's some sloppy play late.
They had all those nice long points and then 3 points in about 20 seconds. These points at the end are so costly, it's a lot harder to hit your shots. It's like making a putt when it counts.
Yep, you definitely find the players playing slower and slower as the points get more and more meaningful.
He's definitely starting to do that a little more. Oh, it's a nice move by Croker.
Add in.
It would be a fitting way for the match to end with a missed lob long.
I hope it doesn't.
And there, Crick lobs with both of them back,
I'd like
and
to
it's
see
a
the
very
match
effective
end
shot.
on a good shot, not a mistake. Nice drive. Oh, right on the nick.
And there it is,
we
game,
go.
set, and match.
Game,
Crick
set, and match.
Lofgren,
Crick Lofgren.
4-6, 7-5, 6-1.
6-1.
Great match.
Martin, any closing thoughts?
Well, we said it a lot. Don't lob out. I mean, the overheads and the lobs, and those are unforced errors.
Okay, we'll be back with the women's quarterfinal match between Hanisch and Van Starnberg, Delmonico and Gebbia, right after these messages right here on the APAT Network, presented by eNet Live.